Sean here, Tweakdown, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Overwatch's competitive mode. Just giving you some gameplay from that. Some full, got a full group here, so it's some pretty tight coordinated gameplay, and gives you a good idea of what competitive mode can be all about. And of course, I also want to give you guys some tips on how to succeed best at competitive, and if you're new to it, then just, give you an idea of how to start off on the right foot, so to speak. So first off, we're making a couple of mistakes here. First off is we're playing Bastion on defense. A lot of people think that you have to play defense heroes on defense. It's only natural, of course, but the fact is that the defense heroes don't really work in Overwatch on a competitive level. I mean, they can on lower levels, even around the midway point. But as you get up higher, it's going to be less and less effective. And even at the lower levels, or at least around the mid range, 40s, 50s, maybe even 60s. Well, definitely 60s, but 40s and 50s, you're probably still better off just playing a tank or another DPS, damage per second hero, or a second support if you don't have a second support. Because you give up a lot if you don't have two of each of those heroes. And yeah, the defense heroes are, even Blizzard themselves have acknowledged that they're underpowered right now. They're probably going to tweak them, but there's only so much they can do, because it's just, right now at least, the game is just it rewards aggressive play if you're on offense, and on defense it just rewards very tight team compositions, which proactive, I guess, defensive compositions, as opposed to what defense heroes bring, which is kind of they lack mobility for the most part, and yeah, it just doesn't bode well against a really aggressive team that's on offense, if that's what you're fighting against, because they can just plow through your defensive heroes for the most part, no problem. They just lose you a speed boost. They got 2 or 3 DPS guys. They just take out. They can wipe you out. They can tear down the defense pretty quickly. Sometimes even just if you're going in on the turret plan, they just have one good Widowmaker. She pops all those turrets off. Everyone runs through. So we'll see what happens in the future if they buff them. But generally speaking, you should avoid defense heroes right now. So that's my big tip. Maybe the biggest tip in this video. Junkrat can be good sometimes, but you really have to know where to use him. You generally want to use him on maps which are heavy on choke points. So this one, for example, could be a good map for Junkrat. A map like Route 66, Gibraltar, with lots of places to flank. Junkrat really should not be used, because his grenades or explosives or whatever they are, they're pretty easily avoidable. You can just you can flank them. You can flank the Junkrat easily. So you want it more on a map like this, where you can just spam the choke point and the enemy doesn't have many other options. So yeah. So in summary, basically just avoid defense heroes, and make sure, kind of leading to my next point, you generally want 2 DPS heroes, 2 tanks, 2 supports. The reason for this is it's just a well-balanced team, and while there definitely are, I'm going to preface this by saying there definitely are situations where you want to go with a 3-2-1 setup. So let's say 3 tanks, 2 DPS, or 3 tanks, 2 support, 1 DPS, or 3 DPS, 1 tank, 2 support. I'm pretty sure you always want 2 support. There may be situations that allow for an exception, but generally speaking, you probably always want the 2 support. But yeah, generally speaking, you want to go with the 2-2-2 setup. It just gives you a really well-balanced team that can deal with all kinds of situations. Whatever the enemy throws at you, you can probably deal with it. Yeah, it's something that works at pretty much all levels, and it's what pros are doing. And while what pros are doing doesn't always translate 100% to, let's say, mid-level or even necessarily high-level competitive mode play, it is something that it still does just work. Like, if you can coordinate, if you're playing with a coordinated group, it's definitely what you want to do. If you're playing with if you're playing solo queue, or you're playing with, say, one friend, and then you're playing with 4 other randoms, then you may have to switch things up. Like, let's say say you're playing really good support, but maybe your team's not taking advantage of the support, or like, say your DPS is not cutting it, then, and you're just dying anyway, so your support is kind of going to waste, you know what I mean? So you may want to switch off support to a DPS to compensate. It's definitely not ideal, but there are times that you'll want to do that. But generally speaking, starting out, that you should still aim for that 2-2-2 setup. If the rest of the team doesn't play along, you kind of have to play around that. But generally speaking, go for that, especially if you're playing with friends. Yeah. So, yeah. Next up is, if you are playing with friends, well, whether you're playing with friends or not, if you're playing with randoms, I encourage you to join the team chat and talk to people often. And encourage them to join team chat and see whether they're in team chat or not. You can press the P key in game, and assuming you're playing on PC, of course, and you can see who's in team chat and who's not. And so you can encourage people to get in there. Just type in chat, say, hey guys, you want to join team chat or whatever. I'm going to be calling out order or something like that. And a lot of people will switch over, and they will start participating, especially if you're a positive person. Like, definitely you don't want to be the guy that's constantly barking orders at people, and you're constantly angry, and you're saying, oh, you suck, or you need to be this hero, or why would you ever pick that hero, or whatever. Just try to be a positive person. Try to work with your team. Try not to work against them. You can definitely make suggestions on what heroes we need and stuff like that, but don't be aggressive, because it makes people angry, and then it can quickly go downhill from there. Everyone's playing angry, and you're not playing well because you're in a bad mood. You're on tilt, as they say, and that's just not a good thing for anybody. So just try to be positive if you're talking, and so just communicate often, call out all kinds of things. Let's say, say like, oh, let's move in now, or I'm gonna speed boost. Like, if you're playing Lucio, let's rush the point. There's a Widowmaker back right, watch out for Widow, stuff like that. Or say, I need heals, or I'm gonna pop my ultimate, things like that. Try to be clear with your communication. Like, say, if you're gonna pop your ultimate, say, tell people which ultimate, because they're not necessarily gonna know. So things like that. The other thing too is you can set in the options menu. The game by default doesn't allow you to join team chat, or it doesn't auto join you, so you can go into the options sound menu and set it to auto join team chat. And I think you have to set it auto join group chat to off as well. I'm not sure, but yeah. So just do that, and I recommend that it'll put you in the team chat automatically. And yeah. So the other thing too is to not let yourself go on tilt, like related to what I was just talking about. You will sometimes encounter people that are tilting. They are aggressive. They're just not fun to play with. I recommend you can try to talk those people down, but it generally does not work. So if it doesn't work, or if you just don't want to bother in the first place, I recommend just muting them and just recommending the rest of your team mute them as well, because otherwise they're just going to be a distraction. They're going to put people on tilt. It's not good. So yeah, that's what I recommend. Just put them on mute and say, hey guys, let's just mute this guy. Let's move on. Let's play your best, and yeah, keep the good times going. So yeah, those are a few of my tips. There's going to be an article on the website soon with more tips and like a more in-depth guide. This is kind of just like complimentary footage.